Hey everybody, I am going to do a start off review on this guy. I'm not going to take it out yet. It's March here and it's really snowy and wet still. So I'm going to set it up in the living room and I just want to go over some things with you here on this, what is it, the Colemen Darwin 4 Plus. I'm sure if you've gotten this far, you probably already did your research. So you probably already know it's got that screened-in sunroom. I'm a pretty avid camper and fisherman, so that sunroom I think is going to come in great for storing the fishing gear or anything that gets wet in a kayak, especially if it starts to rain, so I could kind of start to dry it out. What I like the most about this tent, why I chose to buy it, is it seems to have full coverage for the rainfly. That's huge for me because when I'm out there for a week or two and I'm going to get a day or two of rain, I do not want to be wet. I want to be dry and warm and comfy. So I did a lot of time with research. One complaint that I saw was the actual, there's a little floor in here and it can stretch out further than the vestibule area. But for me, that's kind of cool because I didn't want one that was attached in case rain did get in there, because my idea is to use this space here to take off wet clothes and stuff. And I really wanted to drain out from below. But inside this, there's another zipper. You can't really see, you kind of start to see it there. That separates the main tent area from the vestibule area. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up here. And before I do that, I'm not going to show you a video of me setting it up. That's just ridiculous. Read the instructions. If you know how to tent, you know how to tent. So a couple things I noticed unpackaging it is, first thing is normal. You got your poles in its own bag separated from the stakes and stuff. But I really like that these have air vents in them to dry out. Both have it. Typically, I just run your standard Ozark trail with a good tarp over it that usually gets me through. But I wanted to exclude the tarp because I want to do even more remote kayak camping and kind of cut down the equipment. So a couple cool things I noticed. The stakes, these are definitely thicker and heavier duty than an Ozark trail tent. I haven't had a Coleman since I was like a kid and my dad had one. So I don't know if this is standard for them. But these seem like really good, strong stakes. Tent poles. Sorry, tent poles. These are your stakes. These are tent poles. The stakes also, though, are, I noticed, a little thicker. I'm still going to go through and replace them and upgrade them with the thicker spike stakes, or even maybe even a lightweight aluminum that's more than just a rod that's straight and small like that. I'm going to do that anyways. But just so you know, right out of the gate, they give you a pretty heavier duty stake. And of course you got your cordage, and I really like that they're orange and they have reflective parts in there. I don't even know what to call this, reflective threads. And you got your guy line tie downs. There's actually a way to do this, and if you don't know how to do it, and it's easy, do a little research and just read up on how to tie down with a guy line and actually use it properly instead of tying a loop at the ends and tying it off. That's ridiculous. These actually work. So do a little research. Basically, you just pull this part out and you'll put your stake through there. Like, you pull it out enough so there's a loop, and then you can adjust that and it actually holds. So do some research. But something that's really cool is this came with patches, and there's 4. I must have left the other 2 in here. So it's got 2 lighter colored and 2 darker colored. I've never seen a tent come with just like stick on ready to go patches. I think that could potentially be handy if I accidentally rip it or something. But I've never ripped a tent before, so shouldn't have that problem. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go set this up here in my living room. Kind of already laid it out, going behind me here. And we're going to go inside and see how much space it has, if it'll be good for 2 people or 4 people. Mainly I got this one for myself. And I do have my son. He comes with me a lot, but I plan on purchasing the Coleman Sky Dome with a screened-in room. You'll have to do a little research to find that particular one. There's 2 screened-in rooms out there. The one that I want, you can actually close off. We'll say this is the screened-in room on the Sky Dome. There's zipper portions that actually close it off, so it's not just a screen to kind of prevent the water out. And that one, the floor in the vestibule actually does attach to the sides. So that'll be a little bit different. And these are both under like $200. I think I paid like 165, 170 for this one off Amazon. So I'm gonna set it up and we'll check it out and see if it actually has space for gear and a guy and maybe his kid, or I don't know, maybe you got a lady friend. Who knows? Do what you want. But yeah, let me get set up. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so we're half set up, and I just want to go over some things before I put the rain play on. Might not have enough room in the living room actually, but we'll find out. Okay, so one thing that I noticed that I don't like is the end of the poles here. One's already in. This is the second one that I assume is going to be for the vestibule area. That goes on with a tarp. Is they go in there. I don't like when the poles are hollow on the ends because that really fills with dirt, guaranteed. And I just don't like it because then it allows for moisture sitting there. But there's just that. And then I also noticed that there are no windows, which makes sense because it's got full coverage for the rain fly. But there are vents on top. And this thing is big. It is, my living room 16 by 16. And you can look up the dimensions yourself. I don't know what they are off my hand. And I also noticed that the zipper is going to sit in the... Oh, no, there's two. So it can zip to the top. That's cool. Helps with rain. I clip this guy on here. Pretty easy to set up. There's 3 sets of poles. 2 long ones, which are going to be your cross ones. And then a short one is going to be this extra one that's going to go like in front here. Inside, I haven't even gone in yet, so we're going to check it out together. Stitching quality, there's string hanging here, but hopefully it just didn't get cut well. I waterproof all my tents with a silicone spray anyways. I'll water resist them before I go. There's 2 pockets here, 2 pockets there. All right, and then there's a lantern holder with the vents on top. So if you get a nice day after a rain and there's a lot of moisture in here, just take that rain fly off and it should vent out no problem. But I love a lantern holder. It's super handy. Let's see here. Minimal window in the front. I'll show it to you guys real quick. Standard screen with some sort of backing. You know, you take the backing out, unzip that, and then you got a little window. But just in comparison, it's not very big. So don't go thinking that this is going to be a nice blow-through tent where you can see the stars at night and it's completely open if you take the rain fly off. This guy looks like it's made for the bad weather. And you're not supposed to cook your food in there. Don't do that. Bears like that, especially in the Adirondacks, will come and say hi, and you don't want them saying hi. So I'm going to get the rain fly on and we will go from there. Okay, we got it set up as best as I can in the living room. Can't stick things down in a limited space, so use some weights here on some things. Well, I've noticed some pros and cons to this guy already. Pro, definitely get full coverage all the way down to the floor. There should be a stake here. It would bring that out further, but again, space, you know, no ground to stake things into. Con here, I don't know what to do about this. So this guy, I think stakes in with that, but it's weird because the vestibule pole comes around the outside, and this main frame pole is on the inside. So I'm not quite sure how that's gonna turn out. If it's supposed to sit behind this like that. Maybe, probably, that kind of makes sense, and I bet once I stake it out and can actually tighten everything, that'll probably come to life. So, cool feature, there are 4 vents. There's 2 on each side of everything. So, you got one here in the vestibule, and all the vents have this little hard plastic kind of rod that holds them open. It's a little bent because, you know, I just took it out of the package. But you can unvelcro it, fold it up, Velcro under here to that. You know, if it's raining really hard, close that right up. Same thing up there at the top. We'll go around and check the inside here. There's a lot of space. You could definitely have 2 people in here hanging out if it's a rainy day. In the vestibule area, it'll be kind of cramped. But you can sit here, maybe with a tiny chair, like one of the little tripod chairs probably. You'd be hunched over, definitely. Another comment I see, and I actually saw this during the reviews, is this flap, when it's windy, can actually come to the inside, and rain can get inside here. This is like a little bowl. So it can actually, I think, get in there, but maybe that'll be straightened out when I can tighten everything and it'll go out farther. But there's no way, the hooks are in the corners here and here that bring up like a little wall for the floor in the vestibule. But again, this seems like it's going to have a lot of play to be able to get in there. Not sure what to do about that yet, but like I said, maybe when I tighten it out, it'll straighten itself out a little bit. Oh, you got these privacy windows. This one's closed. This one's open. They're plastic, so if it is raining, you want to sit in here and get some sunshine in. Maybe zip up the door, and then you could still let light in there. You could do that. Let's see, what else do we have? There's really not much more to it. Other than that, it's a tent. Again, should be a stake there. There should be a stake, and then once you can actually pull out the guy lines, it's gonna really snug things up, I bet. But I'm definitely gonna do a video post summer after I got out and used it for a few weeks. Let you guys know about the waterproof, how well it holds up to the weather, because normally I camp in the Adirondacks on islands. So if you accidentally end up on the wrong side of the island, you get quite a bit of wind. So that's why I wanted this vestibule area. That way you don't have to rely on tarp so much for a place to hang out when there's bad weather, whether it's with me and one of my fishing buddies or me and my son. But overall, I think this is going to be a pretty good tent. Just because of that coverage there and the full rain fly. I hate water. That's one thing I don't hate. I can deal with cold, deal with heat, but rain is the one thing I don't like. So that's why I opted for this one. I will be back at the end of summer, and we'll give it a full on post camping honest review inside here. It's getting dark now, so it does stay pretty dark. I've got a light on right above us, and then all of the other trim lights in the room. But you could fit 4 people this way. They'd have to be kind of short, you know, the way that I'm sitting. I'm 5'10" on a good day. So if I stretch way out, my head is just touching one side, and my feet have like 6 inches from there. But you don't want to do that. I usually will sleep like this, with a cot by myself, all my stuff over there, wherever, or, you know, lots of space like that. My cot could definitely fit in here. I got tons of room to lay down a long ways by myself. Yeah, probably a good buy, but again, I will let you guys know. So stay tuned, follow or something. I don't know. This is my first review, so I don't know what you gotta do to make sure you catch the post camping review. Oh, one thing that I didn't like is the double zippers. They're only closed when they're at the bottom. I'd rather the tent be closed with them up here, so they're covered by this flap. This flap's kind of cool. It's got Velcro somewhere. No Velcro. It just, oh yeah, no, there's Velcro right there. So you can make sure you really seal that up. Once you close it, everything's got these little loop interlocks like that for this guy, and the privacy wall that goes on the windows on the inside here. Yeah, well, I'll let you guys know. Thank you.